Hello my friends, it's Laura. Welcome to a very exciting June TBR. I did a thing, and you probably already know what that thing is because of the title and the thumbnail, but I made a board game, specifically a TBR board game. This is the Through the Forest TBR game. I am so excited. I have wanted to make a TBR game for so long. It just seems so much fun, and I just couldn't figure out how I wanted it to go, and I finally came up with something, and I'm really excited about it. I hope it's gonna end up working for me. I will be giving you a closer look at the board in a second, but I just kind of wanted to go over like basic rules, how it works. Every month I'm going to be using this to pick my TBR. The goal every month is to make it all the way to the end, so to make it out of the forest essentially. So every month I'll have a different number of books that I'm gonna be reading. I'm not gonna do any like set number of rolls. It's just gonna be however many rolls it takes me to get out of the forest, to get to the end of the game. So I made this board game for 3 reasons. This is gonna do 3 different things for me. The first one is for fun. Like, it's gonna be a fun and exciting way to pick my books for the month. Who doesn't want every month to feel like a mini readathon? Like, I'm very excited about that. The second reason is to prioritize books off of my physical TBR. One of my reading goals for this year was to get my physical TBR down to a specific number. And my TBR has only gone up. It's only gone up since the beginning of the year, okay? And I need something to help me out with focusing on the books on my physical TBR. One of the rules of the game is that whatever prompts I pick, I need to prioritize my physical TBR, and then I have a little incentive for that, which gets me into my third reason, and that is to hopefully curb my book buying, because y'all know I like to buy books. Every prompt that I complete on the board is going to earn me a book token. And I made little book tokens because of course I did, completely unnecessary. I could have just kept track of it on a sheet of paper in my head, but I decided to make these adorable little book tokens. Oh, I just dropped one. But this is what they look like, and these just represent one book that I can buy. So each reading prompt that I complete on my TBR game is gonna earn me 1 book token. If I don't have book tokens, I cannot buy books. If I do not complete a prompt, then I cannot earn book tokens. The only way that I earn book tokens is by completing these prompts with a book on my physical TBR. If I read a library book to fulfill the prompt, I don't get a token. It has to be a book on my physical TBR. There's also side quest prompts, which I'll get into when I give you a tour of the board. And those also earn me book tokens if I complete all of the ones that I have for any given month, if that makes sense. I really think the best way to like explain it and show you is just to play the game and show you how it goes that way. But yeah, I'm really excited about it. So I made my little book tokens, I have my little prompt cards, and I have my little miniature sill as my little game token to move around the board. So now I'm gonna give you a closer look at the game board and all of the prompts on it, and then we'll play our first round of Through the Forest TBR to pick my TBR for June. Okay, so here is the board. There's only 4 different spots on it, so it's very simple. We've got our start space. These spaces with the little book pictures on them is simply a reading prompt. So if we land on one of those, we pick up one of our reading prompt cards and follow the prompt. I do have a couple of punishment spaces on the board that are -1 token. So if we land on those, obviously we lose one of our book tokens. And then this little fox companion helping us make our way through the forest, our little side quest prompts is what I'm calling them, and they're basically just going to be different reading challenges. Most of them are audiobook challenges, so like build Lego while listening to an audiobook, or go for a walk and listen to an audiobook, because I have this really bad habit of just sitting or laying in bed and playing on my phone while I'm listening to an audiobook instead of doing things. So I kind of want to stop doing that. And then some of them are book related, but not necessarily reading related, like go to the library or make a bookish craft, make your own bookmarks. And then some of them are things like do some reading sprints or have a 24-hour readathon. So that's kind of what those prompts look like. And however many I end up landing on in the month, I will earn a book token if I complete all of the challenges for the month, if that makes sense. And then the very last spot we have is TBR pot, which is basically like a TBR jar, but more. And I'll be showing you that if and when we end up landing on one of these spaces. So again, the goal is to roll the dice, make it all the way through to the end, out of the forest, and we'll see how many books we end up reading, how many prompts we end up getting. I'm so excited. So let's just go ahead and get into our first roll. I'm gonna be using a 6-sided die. I did do a couple test runs with this, and the 6-sided die was the one that got me just about the number of prompts that I wanted. If you hear noise in the background, it's the cats. The cats are ridiculous today, and I apologize. But let's do our first roll for our June TBR. A 4, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have a reading prompt. Grab a prompt. Instagram scroll. Oh, interesting. Okay. Okay, so roll number 1 was Instagram scroll. Honestly, I don't even know why I decided to go with this prompt. I don't really have a bookish Instagram anymore. It's not 100% book themed, but I'm gonna screen record and we're gonna go on Instagram, and I think we're just gonna go with like the first book that I see on Instagram that I own. Open up Instagram. There's Miss Dennard. Let's see, When the Moon Hatched. Oh. Did you know Fairy Loot was doing a special edition of that? That's pretty. I heard the book's not really good though, so I don't know. I do want to read that though, just to check it out for myself. This might take a while. Okay, I found something. So Penguin Teen did this post, the ultimate book track match for Wicked the Musical. And one of the books on here is one that I own, and it's for Wonderful, and it's Hotel Magnifique. I do own that book. I think this is the one we're gonna go through. Honestly, I've been scrolling for so long. Okay, Hotel Magnifique by Emily J. Taylor. Funny story, I did start reading this last year. In June, actually, while I was on the plane heading on vacation. And I think I either fell asleep or just got tired of reading it, and I put it down and I never picked it back up. So I don't remember if I was enjoying it or not. Obviously, I'm going to be starting from the beginning because I do not remember anything about this. So Hotel Magnifique is the first book we're adding to our TBR. A legendary hotel famous for its astonishing enchantments, especially its ability to travel the world, arriving at a new destination each midnight. I think we're following 2 sisters. Hopefully it's a good time. We shall see. Okay, also bear with me. I'm still trying to figure out how to film this in the best way. So it's our first month. It's a trial run. Okay, roll number 2. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We got our first side quest prompt. This is exciting. All right, let's see what it could be. Build Lego and listen to an audiobook. Awesome. Roll number 2 was our first side quest prompt, which is very exciting. And for that, we got build Lego and listen to an audiobook, which means I get to go out and buy myself a Lego set. I'm very excited. I recently discovered that I love building Lego because of my children. So now I get to build my own Lego, which is very exciting. Probably the kids will want to help me, but I think the audiobook I'm going to be listening to. So when it comes to side quest prompts, I guess here's a little rule of the game. I can either use this with one of the books already on my TBR, or I can choose to read a completely different book for this prompt, and that's what I'm going with in this case. I'm just gonna choose a whole book to fulfill this side quest prompt. And for that, I'm going to be listening to The Warm Hands of Ghosts by Catherine Arden. This was tentatively one of my anticipated releases because I love Catherine Arden, but this is centered around World War I. It's historical fiction with a speculative element. I am excited to read it, and I'm even more excited to listen to it because it is narrated in part by January Lavoie, who is one of my favorite audiobook narrators, so I knew that I had to listen to the audiobook for this one. So I will be listening to the audiobook and building myself a Lego set. I'm excited to see what I end up building. All right, roll number 3. Another 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. We have another reading prompt. I'm gonna pick from this pile, and this says, Witches. This is perfect. For role number 3, we got witches, which is a perfect prompt for me because I have so many books on my TBR that have witches involved in some way. But also, I am part of a book club, the Black Hat Book Coven, where we read nothing but witchy books every single month. And the book pick for June is The Honey Witch by Sydney J. Shields, which is actually going to be a reread for me because I already read it and absolutely loved it. But this is the book we're going to be reading together for June. The live show is going to be on my channel, question mark. If I have dates available, I will put them up on the screen at this point. If not, stay tuned. But this is the book we're reading. I'm so excited. It is, I've talked about it so much. Very excited to be rereading it again so soon. So that is the one I will be reading for that. Okay, roll number 4. Hopefully we get something other than a 4. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Another reading prompt. Let's see. Blue on the cover. Okay, rule number 4 was blue on the cover. I decided to go with a book that's mostly blue and also one that I'm excited to get into because I've been in this like classic fantasy, high fantasy mood, and I haven't been reading a ton of high fantasy lately. So I decided to try out a new series. This is The Ninth Reign by Jen Williams. I've heard nothing but amazing things about this series and about this author, so I'm very excited to start this journey and see how I end up liking this. I only have the first book, but if I end up liking it, I might just binge the entire series because they're all out. So excited for this. I honestly couldn't quite tell you what it's about. I've heard things like there's vampire-ish creatures. I have no idea. I have no idea, but I'm very excited to give it a read and see how I end up liking it. Roll number 5. We got a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Another reading prompt. Ooh, fantasy standalone. Exciting. Roll number 5 was fantasy standalone, which I really didn't think I had a lot of, but I do have quite a few on my shelves. And I thought that this would be the perfect opportunity to start my Ava Reid journey. I currently, on my shelves, have all of her books at this point, and I just have a feeling that she's gonna be one of my new favorite authors. And so I wanna get started. I've decided to start reading her books in publication order. So this is her first. This is The Wolf and the Woodsman by Ava Reid, and as far as I know, it is a standalone. Inspired by Hungarian history and Jewish mythology, this unforgettable debut follows a young pagan woman with hidden powers and a one-eyed captain of the woodsmen as they form an unlikely alliance to thwart a tyrant. It sounds right up my alley. Love the cover. Very excited to check out Ava Reid's writing and hopefully continue to love and read more of her books. I initially started out this TBR really wanting to see if I could pick as many light, fluffy, beachy reads as possible for the month of June, and so far that we haven't gotten any of that. So this is interesting. Roll number 6. Another 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my goodness. We've landed on our first TBR pot space. I'm extremely nervous to do this, but here we go. Okay, it's happened. Roll number 6 was TBR pot. And I mentioned that it's basically just picking from a TBR jar. This is my TBR jar. It's bigger than a jar. In this bucket, which is actually a popcorn bucket from when I went to see The Little Mermaid, this has over 700 books written down on little slips of paper in this bucket. This is every book that I have ever been interested in, ever. Basically. These are all books that are on my physical TBR, but they're also everything from my want to read shelf on Goodreads. This could go either way. If it ends up being a book that I don't own, then of course it doesn't earn me a book token. Let's get into this. I did shuffle this around before I put them in here, so they're all shuffled and mixed in. The different colors don't mean anything. I just used different color paper because I thought it would look nice. So we're just gonna pick one. No, but why am I so nervous? I'm scared is what it is. I have no idea what I'm gonna end up getting. I'm terrified. Oh my God, my heart's beating so fast. Okay, here we go, for real. Let's pick one. I'm gonna let you see it before I do. You ready? What does it say? And then there was silence. What even is that? And Then There Was Silence by Candace Robinson. So this is the book. Apparently I added it onto my want to read list on December 19th of 2023. So that's when I heard about it. Don't know or remember anything about it now. Looks like it came out in February. It's only 253 pages, so not a long one. It says, Sadie Hawkins wants nothing more than to find success as a screenplay writer. But when she discovers the love of her life hanging from their bedroom ceiling, Sadie gives up on her dreams until she receives an unexpected gift. Sadie has become the sole owner of the cabin in the woods she always adored, a secluded place where she can resurrect her dreams and drown her sorrows. Yet the woods are not the same. The days are still and lifeless, the shadows seem to follow Sadie, and the air holds the scent of her dead husband. As the days go by, Sadie will either have to accept that her sanity is in jeopardy or uncover the mysteries hidden deep within the past. Standalone story and perfect for fans of V.E. Schwab, Holly Black, and Mexican Gothic. Those are some pretty strong comp titles. So now my expectations are higher. So hopefully it doesn't let me down. I am probably gonna end up getting a copy from the library or maybe just reading it on my Kindle. And if so, it doesn't earn me a book token, which is sad, but that's okay. Roll number 7. Oop, it's a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we've lost a token. Excellent. Okay, roll number 7, we lost a book token. Obviously, since this is the first time I'm playing the game and I haven't earned any book tokens yet, that just means the first book token I earn this month, I'm gonna lose it. So that's sad. But again, that's one less book that I'm gonna buy. So ultimately it's a good thing, right? All right, roll number 8. We're getting close to the end. A 3. 1, 2, 3, another side quest prompt. And we've got make a mood board for a book. That's fun. Roll number 9. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Reading prompt. And we've got flowers or plants on the cover. Roll number 9 was flowers or plants on the cover. I decided to go with one of my Fairy Loot books because I really need to catch up when it comes to my Fairy Loot books. So for that, I decided to read Son of Blood and Ruin by Marielle Laras, a Zorro inspired story, I guess. That's pretty much all I know about it. That's really all I want to know. I don't want to look into it too much. I'm pretty sure that it's like fantasy romance with Zorro vibes. I think I could like this one. I haven't heard anyone talking about this book, so if you've read it, let me know what you thought of it. But yeah, excited to give this one a read. Okay, what is probably going to be our last roll. Let's see if we get a prompt or if we end up off the board. We've got a 3. So one more prompt. 1, 2, 3. We've got romance. Awesome. And for our last roll, roll number 10, we got romance. Wanted to pick up light, fluffy, romantic reads, but of course I didn't pick a light, fluffy summer romantic read for this prompt. I picked Alone with You in the Ether by Olivia Blake. I have been wanting to read this forever. I got this beautiful Fairy Loot edition. I'm obsessed with it. And this has just been sitting on my shelf for so long. It's time to read it. This is technically a romance, but I think it's really sad. It follows a relationship of 2 very broken people. So I don't think it's gonna be light and fluffy. That's not the vibe, but it's one that I've wanted to read for a long time. It is relatively short. Our very first Through the Forest TBR is right here. So we have these 7 plus the one that we picked out from the TBR pot. So that's 8. And then there's also like a shit ton of books coming out in June that I'm super excited to read. That is it for the TBR. Hopefully if I read all of these books, if I complete all of these prompts, I will earn 8 book tokens, which means I can buy 8 books. We'll see if it happens. and I will keep you updated and I will let you know. But that is going to be it for this very first Through the Forest TBR game, TBR for the month of June. Talk to me down in the comments. Tell me what you think about the TBR game. Let me know if you'll be playing along with me. That would be really fun. If you made it to the end of this video and you want to let me know you were here but you don't have anything to say, you can leave me a game piece emoji. Any kind of board game inspired emoji. That is going to be it for me today. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!